Well, my friends, change is in the air. And I'm not talking about the weather. The Reno and Sparks real estate market is changing. We're at a pivotal point that's going to determine where the market is headed in the coming months and years. So if you're thinking about selling a home or buying a home, stay tuned for all the stats, trends, and charts you need to make the best and smartest decision possible. Let's get to it.
Assist you sell way smarter.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another quick Reno-Sparks real estate market update, this time for October 2023. Now, this is for the Reno-Sparks metro area only. It's for single-family residential properties only. So no commercial, no business opportunities or land lots, etc. Just basically homes and condos here in the greater Reno-Sparks area. Now, the first chart you see on your screen here is interest rates. Why? Because that has the biggest impact on prices and sales for obvious reasons. As interest rates rise, it gets more expensive to not only purchase a home, but to service or pay the payments on that loan on a monthly basis. So generally what happens is as interest rates rise, you start to see downward pressure on prices, and the opposite is true. As interest rates fall, you start to see prices go up. Couple things to point out on this chart is the downward trend in mortgage rates. I'm sure doesn't come as any surprise to any of you watching, but interest rates, this goes back to 1998 where we were sitting between 7 and 8% to 20 plus years later under 3% until we saw a massive change in interest rates mid to late 2022, a little over a year ago, where we saw interest rates skyrocket almost overnight, going from under 3 to well over 7%, which is actually where we sit today at roughly 7.5, 7.25 range for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Now, what impact has that had on prices locally? Well, here you have it. This is the median home price. Before we get to the median price in the chart, all of these charts you're going to look at in the next coming slides are going to say September 2023 because that's the stats that we have through the end of September. Prior period just means August of 2023, and same period prior year would be September of 2022. And on the bottom of the screen are dates. On the left side of the screen over here is prices. And as you can see, this chart goes back to 2013, a little over 10 years ago. And as you can see, we've had a massive uptrend in prices here locally, which again, if you've lived here for any period of time, that doesn't come as a huge shock. We've seen prices go up for well over a decade, and that corresponds almost exactly with interest rates falling. But what happened when interest rates went up? Well, we did see a fall in prices from a little over $600,000 to I think the low was right around $515,000. Now we've seen a bit of a reversal there and a stabilization of prices, and they're kind of flatlining here. Let's look at active listings. Now, what are active listings? These are homes that are currently on the market that you can go look at and buy today. So if you're thinking about putting your home on the market and selling it, this would be your direct competition. You'd be joining the market with the other 947 sellers in this case. Now, if you're looking at buying a home, this is the number of homes that are available today that you can choose from. Now, we're sitting at 947, which is down slightly from last month where we were at 960, but is down significantly, almost 39% from the same period last year. And again, you can see the dates along the bottom, total number of homes. Now you see we're kind of running low on inventory and homes active and available for sale, and we saw this massive spike again in really early 2022 into mid 2022. What happens to correspond almost exactly? Look at early 2022, 2023. We saw interest rates spike, which had a direct result on. Now you may think, well, wait a minute, does that mean more houses came on the market? No, it meant less people were buying, so the number of actives went up. If people quit buying, people continue to put their homes on the market. That's why we saw the increase. Now let's look at active by price. Along the bottom is price range. Along the left side is the quantity of homes, and as you can see, pretty well dispersed across all price ranges from about 400 to 500 all the way up to $1.5 million. Now let's look at new listings. You're probably saying, well, wait a minute, what's the difference between new listings and active? Well, new listings is just the number of new homes that came on the market for 1 month, in this case, September of 2023. That lets you know how many people are putting their homes on the market. Now, some of these may have already been sold. A lot of these may end up in the active count over here. But new listings were 465 for September of 2023, which is down significantly from the prior month. Now, that's not at all unusual for this time of year. Generally speaking, you tend to have a pullback starting in September, October. You start to see less and less people put their homes on the market. You start to see sales drop until November, December, January, which are traditionally very slow. Now let's look at new listings by price range. This is interesting. Is while you're not seeing a lot of new listings come on in these upper price ranges, you still see a good number active. So even though you would normally see new houses come on the market and some of those sell through, in this case, a lot of them aren't selling through and are staying active. So if we go back to new listings by price range, the majority of new listings are coming on the market between $400,000 and $750,000, with less coming on the market in the upper end price ranges. Now let's look at closed sales. So we saw active listings, new listings. Now let's look at the ones that actually sold and where we're at with the sold number. 420 is where we're sitting, which is down almost 13% from August of 2023, down almost 20% from 2022, where it was 519. And you can see this massive drop in closed sales. Again, I hate to keep referring back to this, but corresponds almost exactly with the spike in interest rates. We saw a drop in prices. We saw a spike in active listings, you can see here. And again, if I go back to closed sales, it correlates to a massive drop. So people were stopping, but that has rebounded, and we've seen it rebound a bit. But what's significant to note here is it has rebounded, but we're still well below what would be considered normal levels of sales for this time of year and really throughout the entire year. Now let's look at closed sales by price range. And I gotta be honest with you, this one has me completely confused. This price range right here, $500,000 to $600,000. And I didn't pull up the charts. Maybe I will next month if this trend continues. But normally you would see on this chart from $500,000 to $600,000, you would see up here in about 100 to 110 range. And you would see just a nice slope down as the prices drop. It's really unusual to see such a significant drop between price ranges. From 4 to 5, you had a massive drop, but then it increases back from 6 to 750,000. So I'm gonna have to do more research on that. Let's look at months supply. Now this is kind of the canary in the coal mine. This gives you a general macro view, 30,000 foot view of sort of the direction of the market. Now what is month supply? Pretty simple. Let's say you have 1,000 homes on the market and every month you sell roughly 500, you would have 2 months of inventory. So in other words, if you didn't put another home on the market, you sell 500 a month, it'd take you 2 months to sell 1,000. If you had 1,500, it'd be 3 months. If you had 2,000, it'd be 4 months, and so on. So there you have it. I know that's kind of broad overall trends and what's happening in the market. If you do have a home you're looking at selling, or maybe you're thinking about buying a home and you want more specifics on your property, visit our website over here at forrenohomes.com. Right front and center, you can see, do you want to know what your home value is today? Click on that little button, find out now. Enter an address, either a home you own or thinking about buying. We can give you a good automated report on what it might be worth, but we'll also follow that up with some more detailed information and analysis to give you a very good idea of what your home would sell for in today's market. And speaking of selling in today's market, homes are still selling. As I mentioned, and as you saw in the charts before, we are, for the most part, in almost every price range in a seller's market, which means your home will sell. There is no reason to pay massive commission to sell your property. At Assist to Sell, we'll sell your home for only $49.95, and if your home is over $500,000, it's only 1%. Significantly less than what you might expect to pay from those full-priced real estate agents. We're licensed, local experts. We've been selling and saving homeowners since 1987 right here in the Reno-Sparks area. So check us out. You'll be glad you did. 688-6060, of course, area code 775. And I look forward to talking to you real soon. And regardless, I wish you the very best of luck with all of your real estate challenges going forward. We'll see you next time here on the Reno-Sparks Real Estate Market Update. Bye-bye.
Assist to sell way smarter.